Well,
Hello.
good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Reference Roundtable. We are super excited to be here today. We've got another episode. I think it's going to be fantastic. Of course, with me today is Sarah and Michael. And we also have a very special guest who is also named Sarah. We have three Sarahs here at the library. So we're going to bother Sarah and find out all about the awesome and important job that she does here at the library. So we're just going to interview her, let her tell us a little bit more about herself. And yeah, if you're watching live, you can definitely jump in if you've got a question for Sarah or maybe, any of us. So yeah, I think we should just dive right in.
Sounds good.
All right, I think so. So, Sarah, would you like to start by telling us what your job is here and a little bit about the wonderful things that you do?
Sure. Hello. My job, my title, I think, is called Service Associate, and I work in the Technical Services Department. And I'm basically kind of a behind the scenes detail person. So the selectors like you guys, I'll just go through generally what I do.
Mm-hmm.
They send me carts of books that they want to order. And then I get those and I process the order with Baker and Taylor, who's our major vendor. And then we have a few other vendors. Order the books and then import the carts so they become like an on order, but they've actually been placed with the vendor. Then I check them in. They come in maybe 2-3 days later after they're ordered. It's very quick.
It's so quick.
We ordered something Tuesday and we've gotten 8 or 10 boxes delivered since then.
Oh,
So I didn't realize that quick. Then we get a stack of boxes and the fun part starts because we open up the boxes. You guys have done that.
I'm very jealous of that part of your
That's
job.
the best part, yeah. And so we check them in and put them on carts. And then we kind of wheel them over and start receiving them. So that way we know which ones are like priorities. Like people are waiting
sure.
for them. So they'll get like a little pink slip that tells us somebody wants it. And then we put them on carts and kind of prioritize them. And then we use OCLC as our kind of supplier that helps us with the cataloging, because the next step after we pay for them and receive them is we want to actually do the work to catalog them and get them upstairs. So my job is to search, find the best record, which is usually pretty simple. Then
Hopefully.
make edits, and then actually assign like Dewey's or call numbers and edit a little bit of the bib record. And then I make labels. We put barcodes on. We put security on. We turn the security on. Then we send it over to another part of the department where they kind of check what I did to make sure it looks all right. It's going to the right place. And then they kind of do their stamping, and then it goes to the desk where another person covers it and, laminates it or covers it. And then it goes in another pile to be checked in and goes upstairs. So it's quite a detailed process. And that's the most probably of what I do. So it's,
I forget that there's so many steps to like
sounds boring,
processing the books though.
Oh yeah. They used to be easier. It's getting a little more difficult for me to remember what I did. Right. But it sounds boring, but I think just the fact that I get to open the new books,
That's so
to
cool.
see what's out there, I would say is probably the best job in the library.
I would agree.
So do you get to touch every new book we get, basically?
Every single one, yeah.
That's so cool.
See, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would like to take your job from you.
It can be tedious, but that part makes up for it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing the books, and I don't spend a lot of work time looking at them, folks.
As tempting as it
No
is.
work, no play.
We actually get to read very little at the library.
Yeah.
We're very busy.
But I know what I want to read then when I see it.
Right.
Put it on a list. And so that's basically what I do, other than a little bit with donations and how little things come up. But that's really basically, I do the books and someone else does the movies, someone else does the audios, someone does paperbacks and magazines, but I'm basically books.
I make Sarah's life very hard because I do the ordering of books in other languages.
Oh yeah.
And it makes it very hard for her to find the cataloging content for them.
But But you haven't done that in a while, so that's
No, no, I'm building another car right now, so no pressure.
good. It's really quite fun, really. Other than that, we're in the basement. That part's not so fun, but great job.
All right. Is it my turn to ask a question?
Yes.
Ooh, what a privilege.
Weird.
So this is a pretty straightforward one. How long have you been working with the Sioux City Public Library?
I'm getting a pin soon.
Ooh.
And a
Milestone.
It has been 20 years, like in December. And I started out part-time. Thank you. In circulation, I started out part-time when the library was kind of over by Hy-Vee, not across from it, but it was at
Marketplace.
Yeah.
Marketplace.
And that was really cool. That was really fun. And then I don't know how long I did that. And then I applied for the job in technical services, and that's full-time.
So how long have you been like in technical services?
I don't know. I should have looked that up. I guess maybe 15 years, but I don't really know. Maybe a little more.
We'll say around 15.
Say around. Yeah.
Well, we know how you kind of moved up the ranks at the library, but what kind of jobs did you have like before you started working at the library?
My first job ever was at a photo store where they actually got your pictures printed, and I worked there quite a while because that was really fun. I don't think we were supposed to, but we looked at everybody's pictures.
I had a friend that worked at the Kmart photo processing, and she said the same thing.
Then like my manager, if she didn't get to look at the ones she wanted, she'd say, "Oh, they didn't come in today." That was my first job. And then I worked at a bank, local bank for, I don't know, a long time, probably over 10 years. And then that's kind of when I did like detail work, and I like that. I like, that kind of thing. Then I quit for a while to stay home with my kids, and then I worked in the schools for a little bit, and then I started at the library. I think that's everything.
You kind of did a little bit of everything then.
Yeah, I did other little things, but those are the major ones that I.
Yeah. So you got to see all the photos. Now you get to see all the books.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar, isn't it?
Right.
That's what I was going to say. Do you hold back some of the books and like, oh, they didn't come in? So we could finish reading them.
That's not going to work.
No.
But yeah, there's definitely better ones.
Okay. So what about you personally? Do you want to tell us anything about your family, your background, where you're, like what city you're from?
Sure. If you want
as much or as little as you want.
I'll tell it. I'm from Sioux City, and I'm from a relatively large, there were 6 children in our family. And my dad was an attorney, and all my siblings are attorneys. Obviously, I am not. They're loud and opinionated, and I'm very quiet and reserved, like a librarian should be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Should we call her out on that, or?
Quiet and reserved.
Kind of from a loud, big, a lot of big families then, and in your neighborhood there were lots of big families with lots of kids. So really good, fun childhood and growing up years. And I guess obviously my parents were readers because I'm a reader. But
that's definitely how it goes, I think.
Yeah.
I think parents have a lot of effect on their kids.
Right. I don't think, they read to us every night, but I don't know that I was a reader till I got to be an adult, but I did always like stories.
I am one of 6 as well. I didn't know that we have that in common.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you're shy and quiet too.
So demure. That's one of the people use to describe me is demure.
Very reserved. Can't think of any other important thing. Kind of tells who I am, I think.
All right. Well, we did just get a very lovely comment. So it says, "Thank you for all of the work you do, Sarah. I had no idea of what it takes to process the books and what it takes to get them on the shelves so I can check them out. Wow, you are amazing." So
sure, thanks.
That's from Anne.
We just got another one.
And we just got another one too. And it said, "Sorry, not all librarians are quiet and reserved. Personal experience." Where's that from, Lacey?
Sarah, that's my mom.
He knows too.
I think she might be pointing a finger at me here, but
no, that is not true for sure.
I definitely fit that description, though. I'm pretty quiet and reserved.
And that's probably how you know everybody.
Probably.
A
Good observer.
Yeah.
Well, since we all work at the library, I think it makes sense if we ask some book-related questions. So I guess the first and most obvious one would be if you have a favorite author or a favorite book or both. Any that jump to mind that you want to share?
I'm not really a favorite type person.
Ooh. Well, you see everything, so
yeah, it's hard. It is. I love new fiction. I love mystery. I like historical fiction. I know. I don't know if she's my favorite, but I will read most of the Louise Penny, Armand Gamache, because I have a huge crush on him.
I've read all of those.
He's totally real to me, and I want to meet him as if he's real. But I mean, I know that she's a great author, but I just love the setting and the characters. And
the characters are really what does it for me.
Yeah,
she writes great characters.
Too. And then I don't know if I'm really I love David Sedaris. I'm not really good at reading his stuff, but I love listening to him read his books. I'm very sorry I didn't go see him once when he was in Sioux Falls, but I really enjoy those. Well, I can't think of anybody else.
Well, those are good names too.
Yeah.
David Sedaris. I didn't know he and Amy Sedaris were siblings until like 5 years ago, maybe. I just thought they were separate celebrities with the last name.
Yeah, that is really strange.
And it makes so much sense.
I just love hearing about his family relationships and stuff.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
All right. Well, what's the last book you read, or maybe like what you're just reading right now? If you want to share with us.
I'm reading The Maid. I don't know who. It's one of our book selections. Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who the author is, but it's about a maid in a fancy hotel, and it's very
heard
good.
of that one.
Yeah,
I know exactly what book you're talking about. It's a real.
She's really quirky. I'm maybe halfway in, but there's been a murder in the building, and she was the one to find the murdered person.
Ooh.
But she's kind
That
of
sounds like my style.
Is it like Nina Prose or something?
Yeah, it is, and it's Naomi or Nina or something like
Something like that. Yeah, it's been pretty popular.
Yeah, it's very good. I like it.
Nice.
I won't read something to the end if I don't like it.
No.
Same. I don't feel like I
short.
can open a book if I don't like it.
And if it's a mystery and I want to know, I'll just go to the end and figure it out. I mean, if somebody put it in.
Okay. So what about do you remember what the very first book you ever read by yourself was? Or maybe the very first book you remember like having an impact on you when you were young?
I do remember because it was A Tree Grows in Brooklyn.
Ooh, that's a good
It was
one.
like summertime, and me and some of my siblings were outside taking in the rays, and my mom yelled at us and said, "You're not going to sit out here and do nothing." Said you got to read. So that was the book she handed me because it was, important to her. And it's an autobiographical kind of the author, and it's really similar to my mom's upbringing, and it's a super good story. So
That's
I probably
really
read it a couple times, 3 times maybe, but.
That's a really cool memory. That's funny.
Yeah, it is fun. It's like, and I didn't really get that it was autobiographical of my mom too until, of course, I was an adult and knew more about what her life was like. So it's pretty important to me.
Nice.
That's cool.
That's special. So we have books at the library, but we also have movies. Do you have a favorite movie? It doesn't have to be one from our collection, or maybe even like a favorite actor, actress, TV series, anything that you watch.
I don't. My favorite movie, I have to say it, even though it isn't anymore, because anyone who knew me would know I'd be The Sound of Music. Because the first movie I ever saw at the Morningside Cinema, I suppose I was like 4 or 5. And that's when you kind of got dressed up to go to a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so I probably have seen it 20 times, but I think I finally outgrew it probably in my 30s. I don't know. So I can sing any song from that movie, but I hate You Are 16 Going on 17.
Yeah.
That's not a good one.
The movie for me.
I have that soundtrack on vinyl.
Yeah.
It's a great one.
Yeah. So I'd say that's probably my favorite movie just because it's the one I know the best. But as far as actors, you guys might already know I'm in love with Kenneth Branagh.
I do know that.
I kind of got into him from the Wallander series, but I don't know that. I mean, He just had a movie. Oh no, I don't know.
Have you seen the newest Poirot movie with him in it, The Death on the Nile?
I didn't see that one. I saw the Murder on the
You
Orient.
see him like without the mustache as Poirot, and it's kind of
You
weird.
do.
Yeah. I do like him. I don't know if he's my favorite. I don't know who would be my favorite. I like old movies more, like Gregory Peck movies or Jimmy Stewart or that kind of dumb stuff. I like movies. I just can't think of anything now contemporary that I just love.
Right. Do you listen to podcasts at all? I know you all usually have the radio on in the room where you work in.
I do, but I don't like that crime stuff all that much. I'm kind of into Tig Notaro. Do you know her?
Oh,
yeah.
she's great.
Something about asking. Don't ask Tig or just ask Tig. Have you heard that?
No,
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember.
Anyhow, she stole my idea because I had this idea like about 2 years ago that I should be on a radio show with a couple of other old women, like at KWIT, and people should call in and ask us questions. We could give our opinion.
I would listen to that. I would listen.
I would call in.
I know they would torture us and we would torture them. But so on her podcast, people have like serious questions, and then she has a celebrity guest, and they offer serious advice, usually.
That's pretty cool.
And I think she's really funny. So
Mm-hmm.
I do listen to that somewhat regular, but I can't think of anything else really.
Just good answer.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
All right, now we're getting into the heart of the matter, the really important question.
Oh God, what is it?
What's your favorite restaurant in Sioux City?
Ugh, I'm turning into. I like to cook, so I don't go out to eat a lot. And if I
Okay.
do, I go to lunch. But I like Pete's Thai.
Okay,
And I love
that's delicious.
Alfredo, but what we like to do for going out is to go out for coffee. So we like going to Pierce Street Coffee Works, like for breakfast or lunch, or Coffee Connection in South Sioux.
Mhm.
But to go out to dinner, I don't. We go to a place in Vermilion, but we don't. Sorry,
Is
That's
it a top
all right.
secret
That's
place
all
in
right.
Vermilion?
good answer on that. But I like food. I just
Okay, so what about travel? Where is a place you've always wanted to go?
I think I have never been to the East Coast. Like to go, Boston-ish, and maybe as far as overseas, Ireland or London, somewhere. Ireland or England or Ireland, maybe.
Mhm.
And I've never been to California. I need to do that. Need to see that, I think.
Mhm.
So
Definitely.
hopefully I'll get to those places.
I'm sure you will.
Mhm.
That's the plan now.
Well, what about like your favorite 80s song or like a guilty pleasure song that you secretly but not so secretly really like?
One 80s, I think of Madonna, but I don't really, or Boy George. I think we listened to him a lot when we were outside sunning. Later in the 80s, I always liked Simon and Garfunkel, and then Paul Simon had a Call Me Al. Did you ever see that video?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, with
One of
Chevy
our-
Chase.
Yeah,
Chevy
so one of my oldest was like before he was 1, we listened to that all the time. And so I don't know, I like that one. It's just kind of a happy song, but it's not typical 80s, I guess.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite songs, actually.
Yeah, but it's just joyful. I don't
It
know.
is really joyful.
Yeah, I
It
love
always makes me happy. It picks me
Yeah.
up.
That's a good one. But
All right, continuing the strange questions. What was the last gift you gave someone?
2 days ago was my youngest birthday.
Oh.
And he was 31. And this is really exciting. I give him money.
The best gift of
But he
all.
liked it.
Personal, so personal. And
Yeah.
I do make something. I made him some no bake cookies.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
So but I'm other than that,
That's the best gift. Money and baked goods
Money and cookies, yeah.
or non-baked goods.
I don't know what else to get him.
That's a good gift.
And not a lot of money.
A tasteful amount.
Yeah.
Enough.
more than they gave me.
Oh, we just had a comment come in. Jane says, love that idea of a radio show for KWIT with a panel of experienced women. I would listen. The world needs our advice.
Yes, it's totally.
I agree.
But we've
Well,
got ideas.
Yeah.
Mark Munger, if you're watching, This is a pitch.
I can't believe it's not already there.
Right? Oh, I think that would be wildly popular. I would listen.
Well, I said something to somebody. I said a radio show. They said they don't do radio shows; they're podcasts. Well, okay, then I'll do a podcast.
No.
Good.
Yep. Okay, so you said you love food,
Oh yeah.
but what's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
I don't try too weird. I think I had snake once.
Oh, that's pretty weird.
And you know, they whatever you eat weird, what do they say it tastes like?
Chicken.
Chicken.
It tastes like chicken. I don't know if it tastes like chicken, but I probably
Did
had
it taste
one
like
bite.
chicken?
Or I don't even remember if it tastes like. I don't think anything do I remember it tasting like.
Oh,
That's probably
Yeah.
like the whole idea was just, but I had to try it.
I rebuke snakes.
Yeah. Ugh.
I ate a scorpion once.
I would think bugs might be kind of good actually, but I just don't want to know that's what it is.
It like didn't.
That's
it
the
was-
thing. You can buy like roasted crickets now and like
Yeah.
eat them like a snack.
But
My
just
whole
don't-
family ate those I don't know, a month or so ago. My parents
Let me
brought them
guess.
home.
You didn't.
Oh God, no. The weirdest thing I've eaten is rice, and I hated it.
no, not rice.
There's a
The
restaurant in
horror.
Brooklyn that like makes all their dishes with insects, and I was at a food festival once where they had a cart, and I had a little tostado with ants on it and a cricket taco.
Oh,
I
What
would
does it
try
look
that.
It was
I would try
good.
that.
Does it look like a bug or do they kind of?
Oh, it was very much a bug.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a taco full of crickets.
Michael and I are the adventurous eaters of the Reference Roundtable bunch.
Well, yeah. So how was it? Was it good or not?
It was good, but I did feel like I was eating bugs.
Yeah.
The ants were nice. I don't know. The ants were an interesting texture. They had no taste because they're so tiny, but it was like kind of like poppy seeds.
Yeah, squishy.
Yeah.
Like crunchy.
I would maybe eat snake if it was fried, and then I feel like if I eat the beast, I have power over the beast,
Yeah, hopefully.
and I won't fear them so much.
yeah.
I
If
mean,
you're
little
eating it, at
kids-
least it's not crawling around trying to get you.
Ugh.
Ugh.
You know, should outgrow that.
All right.
All right. Well,
Whose turn is it? I don't
no,
even remember.
I think it's mine, right?
That
So,
sounds right.
We're still talking about food
Oh,
here.
good, good. Okay.
Do you have a favorite cheese? I can't even name types of cheeses, really, but
I can name all of the cheeses. I'm a cheese fiend.
I love cheese. I think there's one called like Dubliner or, but it's only because
I think it's a cheddar. I think
like a smoked cheddar, maybe. I don't know.
Mhm.
I pretty much like any cheese other than goat cheese, and I don't really like that too much. But I'll try that. That's not too weird. Anything.
you can't go wrong with cheese. I love all cheeses.
it upsets my stomach.
Really?
I haven't gone on many cheese adventures.
I'd probably have cheese every day.
Oh,
Mhm.
really?
Yeah. It's
I
probably.
love cheese.
So this was a perfect question for you. You know your cheese.
Just ask me any cheese question. I got an answer for you.
All right. Least favorite color. Is there a color you just hate?
I can't say there's a color I hate. I mean, red might be least favorite, but I still have red things. Oh gosh, I'm wearing red now. Yeah. No. But no, I love yellow. I like every color pretty much, I guess.
All right.
That was
Do
an
you
easy
guys have
one.
bad color? I guess I didn't know they were bad colors. Okay.
Well, you just said you don't like red in a town full of USD people, so the coyotes out there are
Oh
probably.
yeah.
Or Huskers.
Oh, yeah, we are Husker adjacent.
Yeah.
They probably clutch their pearls.
No.
Okay, so we have one more. That's very important. If you had to choose just one, coffee or tea?
Okay, choose one. I guess I'll go with coffee.
Good answer.
Smell is way better. It smells way better, and it goes better with food.
Yeah.
A good donut and coffee, you can't beat that.
Oh, yes.
That's how I started my day today.
Yeah. That was a hard one.
They're both good, but I definitely have to go with coffee every time.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless you don't feel good, then you gotta have to
That's true. That's
think
true.
about it.
Or it's like bedtime, you know.
Yeah.
You don't want to have that cup of
No,
coffee at
not
like
that
10 o'clock
coffee.
at night.
Yeah, no.
Some chamomile.
So was this a job interview, or did I get the job, or?
Yeah,
We'll let you know.
you were hired for the new radio show on Kaywood starting tomorrow. Hope you're ready.
My show idea.
Yeah.
I think you could probably improve on it. I just don't know how yet.
Well, you're gonna hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Learn as you go.
All right. Well, I think we've probably grilled Sarah enough today.
Now you found out I was
So.
super boring. So can you make up some hobby for me that I could say I do?
Whitewater rafting.
Yes, I do. In the Colorado River. Frequently.
Well, we got a comment that says you sound like a fun lady. So
Oh, boy.
So you're already getting fans.
Oh,
yes.
good.
I think you are a fun lady.
This wasn't as nerve-wracking as I thought.
Oh, it's not so bad.
No. Thank you.
Well, thanks everybody for being here, and thanks to Sarah for letting us bother her for a while during her day. Of course, thank you all for watching. If you have any questions later, or you're not able to watch us live, you can always leave us a comment on here. We love seeing them. Or of course, you can shoot us an email at questions@siouxcitylibrary.org. And of course, we're going to be back next week for another episode. So definitely tune in next Thursday at 3:30. Until then, keep reading, Sioux City.
Bye.